program, we are dealing with the dimensions related to the higher layers today. We start with our chanting. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrutavarshiniim Bhagavate Ashtadashaadhyayiniim Amba Tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavatveshiniim Arjuna Uvacha Aho Bata Mahatpapam Kartum Vyavasita Vahim Yadrajya Sukhalobhena Hantum Swajanamudyataha He Bhagavan Uvacha Api Chedasi Papebhyaha Sarvebhyah Papakruttamaha Sarvam Jnanaplavenaiva Vrujinam Santarishyasi Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashtena Sevaya Upadekshanti Te Jnanam Jnaninastatvadarshinaha Na jayate mriyate va kadachit Nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha Ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha Nahanyate hanyamane sharire. That's the concept that we are beyond this Panchakoshas, which is immortal, pure consciousness, infinite power, infinite knowledge, infinite freedom, infinite bliss. That's our original state. Original state from where the whole 5 bodies have come, 5 layers of the creation has emerged, which is known as the Panchakosha. The grossest among them is the Annamaya Kosha. The causal is the Anandamaya Kosha. So Bhagavan further tells us, Veda vinashinam nityam yayena majamavyayam katham sapurusha partha kambhatayati hantikam nainam chintanti shatrani nainam dahati bhavakaha na chainam kledayantyapaha na shoshayati marutaha अच्छेद्यो अयमदाख्योऽयं अक्लेद्यो शोष्य एव च नित्यः सर्वगतस्थाणुः अचलोऽयं सनातनः. It's here that we have the concept of rebirth. When we all die, Annamaya Kosha is destroyed. Then slowly Pranamaya Kosha also in a few days is going away. Then we all are in Manomaya Vijnana Anandamaya Koshas. There all our personality traits are stored in the form of Sanchita Karma and Prarabdha Karma. And when we exhaust our Punya and Papa to a certain extent, then you come back to the new birth. And there all our personality traits manifest. And that is the concept which has been beautifully brought out in this thing. Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastaha Niryogakshema Atmaman. Ultimately, we are all bound by the 3 gunas. And therefore, we have to go beyond the gunas. To go beyond, to become nirdvandvaha, nitya sattvastaha, niryoga, kshema atmavan. We should continuously be in touch with our ultimate reality, atmavan. So tune ourselves to that thing is what is said. Therefore, we have to move from tamas to rajas, rajas to sattva, and go beyond the gunas. And that is the whole process of growth. That is to see that the gunas which manifest at different levels in all the koshas have to be transcended. Its manifestation in the physical body is the grasses. Then we have in pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanandamaya koshas, they are in the subtle and the causal form. And all these things have to be completely transcended. And that is the thing that have been talked about. You have to go beyond that. So once you start transcending, then you become a realized soul. That is Chita Prajna. So Arjuna asked the question, what are the qualities of such a great Gnani, such a great realized soul? How does he talk? How does he walk? How does he eat? How does he do? Then Krishna Bhagavan beautifully brings out in this shloka. Everybody should see that this shloka is by heart. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogathan atmanyevatmana tushtaha sthita pragnasthadochyate tada sthita pragnaha iti uchyate. Then he is called as a sthita pragna. When he is free from all bondages, free from all thoughts, all desires. That means he is able to sit quietly, calmly, silently, without any thoughts. How long? 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, any length of time. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 1 day, 2 days, 5 days, any length of time. So do we have such examples? Yes, we have a great example in modern times of the great Ramana Maharshi. And a young lad, Ramana Maharshi got a little glimpse into this silence. Wonderful state of silence is bliss. And he just sat in that silence continuously. And slowly hours rolled. The whole day he was sitting. And he was tuned to that silence. He was a sakshi. He was a witness to all things that were happening in the body. And continuously his mind tuned itself only to that inner silence. The outer sakshi bhava to see what is happening outside completely vanished. And he had tuned himself to that inner silence. The experience of all of us in this direction is when we have deep sleep. When we have sleep without dream, the mind has gone into that causal state. But the difference between the samadhi state and the deep sleep is in deep sleep you are unconscious. Whereas in samadhi, in the deeper layers of silence, you are awake and yet you are silent. That is the dimension that Ramana was there. So days passed and weeks rolled and months passed. Continuously he was in that total silence, And that is the state of a sthita prajna. That is the state of what is called as a jivan mukta. That is a state which is called as a realized soul. But at the same time, Krishna also says, Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. A person who is mentally retarded, severely mentally retarded, can also be in that state of silence. His mind doesn't work. He is not able to think. He is incapacitated to think. ability to think has gone because he has got a hereditary dimension or a congenital problem, and therefore his brain is not working. Brain has not developed. So one has to see that when we become silent, it is not that we are becoming mentally retarded. It is not that we are becoming slow learners. It is not that we lose our capacity to think, but the whole capacity to think is very much there. And that is the aspect. Therefore, there we have the wakefulness. You have not become unconscious or mentally retarded or become slow learners, but you are fully awake. Therefore, in that state, he is in the state of wonderful bliss, Anandamaya Kosha, full of Ananda. And that is the difference between the Samadhi and the sleep. In the sleep, you have become unconscious. In the deeper layers of silence, deeper layers of Anandamaya Kosha, then you are awake, at the same time you are silent. That is the thing that one has to achieve. Therefore, what is to be done? We have to start staying in that silence every day, morning, evening, afternoon, whenever you have time, sit in silence. Maybe 1 minute, maybe 30 seconds, start with. Because we are all habituated to think and think and think. Therefore, we are bound by thinking. And as a result, we cannot remain quiet. So we have to change that habit by continuous practice. So I request all of you to do this practice every day. Whenever you have time, then just allow the mind to go to silence. And allow the mind to stay in silence, maybe for 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes. And as you develop this habit, you will be able to stay in that silence for longer and longer time. Maybe 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. So this is how we have to develop. Shanaihi, Uparamed, Buddhya Dhruti Gruhitaya, Atma Samstham Manakrutva, Nakinchidapi Chintayet, as it is said. Krishna gives the method for that. That is the meditation aspect. On doing it again and again, again and again, again and again, then the mind learns to stay in that silence. So that is the thing that's said. And a perfect human being, he can stay any length of time. All the time he can be in that silence and do the thing. He is called as Sthita Prajna. His actually consciousness has become steady. He is a realized soul. Then Krishna says, when you are not able to do, the thoughts will emerge themselves as emotions. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषोपजायते सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः प्रतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. In this wonderful verse, shloka, Krishna Bhagavan gives us the whole process as to how grossification takes place. Dhyayato Vishayan Pansaha. When the mind starts thinking about a particular person, a particular event, a particular situation, then the mind gets into a loop. It goes on thinking about it again and again, again and again, again and again. And when it goes on getting repeated about that, then an attachment develops. You say, Sangaha Techu Upajayate. So you have gone into a place and you have seen a particular object or a particular scene, and you start thinking about it. The mind has the habit to think again and again, again and again. Then you develop the attachment to that. And that is the beginning of grossification of the mind towards emotions. So what is implicated in this is that emotions are something not totally different from mind, from the thoughts. So thoughts and emotions are connected. And the grossification of the thoughts turns itself into an emotion. And out of this attachment comes the likes and dislikes, attractions and repulsion. So when you have gone into that hotel and you have seen maybe a gulab jamun or maybe a pizza, the mind starts thinking, what is that, what is that, what is that, goes on thinking, and you start tasting, then, I like this, I like this, I want it, I want it. Or it may happen that I don't like this, I don't like that taste, I don't want, I don't want. So raga and dvesha emerges out of this emotional attachment, you know. And once you have raga and dvesha, sangat sanjayate kamaha. If your desire is not fulfilled, then what happens? You get angry. Kamat krodhaha abhijayate. You become angry, you get upset. Oh, I want this. That the person who is there in the restaurant said, all your things are gone. We don't have any more stock. Oh, come tomorrow. You get angry. Or when you get it, then you take it. I want one more, one more. Slowly desires turn themselves into greed. And the greed ultimately turns itself into anger. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. When you get angry, what happens? The mind gets bogged down. It gets infatuated. And sammoha, from sammoha what happens? Sammoha smriti vibramaha. Your smriti, your memory gets lost. Your memory, goes on reducing. Then when the memory goes, buddhinashaha, then loss of discrimination occurs. What is right, what is not, what is to be done, what is not to be done, that capacity for discrimination goes away. And once it's gone, you are like an animal. Because animals do not have that discrimination. They are all robots. So we also become robots. So this is the whole sequence of the thoughts becoming emotions. So when you go on repeating that again and again, the attachment starts. This is the whole principle of advertisement. In advertisement, you see the same thing again and again, faster. Therefore, what the shloka is telling is the connection between thoughts and emotions. Emotions are therefore speeded up thoughts. They are powered up thoughts. That's what it means. Therefore, what is to be done to keep the mind silent? You have to gain mastery over the senses and emotions. Because the mind gets into the loop and becomes emotions, and you lose. So the need of the hour today is to gain mastery over the emotion. That's important. How to do that? Ragadvesha viyuktaisto vishayan indriyaischaran atmavashair vidheyatma prasadam. So you have to overcome that raga and dvesha. Raga is attraction, dvesha is repulsion. The likes and dislikes you must reduce. Go on reducing. Therefore, your likes and dislikes will almost vanish. How to do that? Vishayan indriyaischaran atmavashair vidheyatma says. So observe how the senses are moving towards their object of enjoyment. When you see the eyes, how the attachment occurs and how you develop the likes and dislikes. Similarly, when you eat something, observe how an attachment develops and how you develop likes and dislikes. Observe the attachment that is developing between senses and the sense object. Then you have to overcome that. You have to say, no, I am not going to become slave to the emotions. I do not allow my senses to rush into the object and get attached to that. You are going to withdraw. This is how you develop the mastery, he says. So what is the result of that? Dukkeshu anudvigna manaha sukheshu vigata spruhaha vitaraga bhaya krodhaha chitadhir munirujyate. Then he becomes a chitadi when vita raga bhaya krodhaha. He overcomes the attractions and repulsion and the fear and the anger that is developing. When you have the dukkha, you should not get lost. When you have something that you like, sukha, then you should not get excited about it. You must maintain equanimity. That is the dimension he talks about. Samatvam yoga vidyate. That is, equanimity is yoga. Under all circumstances, you should maintain that equanimity. The imbalance is asamatva. So, what is the process of growth? When we grow in our yoga, when we start practicing yoga more and more, you must see that you will be able to maintain balance under all circumstances. Therefore, practice of equanimity in states of misery and happiness leads to the mastery over all the senses and emotions. And you are able to overcome all fear, greed, anger, miserliness, everything. Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, anger, greed, jealousy, hatred, infatuation, arrogance, fear. All this you will be able to overcome by doing this. From there, you go to the higher dimension. Once you start getting these things, then you go to the higher layers of bliss, subtler layers. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate prasanna chetaso khyasho buddhi paryavatishthate. So, with the reduction of imbalances, you get into the state of balance. Then what happens? You have tremendous amount of happiness that comes. The bliss starts coming and the misery starts reducing and the intellect gets established in peace. There is a silence that starts getting settled down in our entire system, and you're all the time, you are very, very happy, blissful, and full of ananda sthiti, full of this thing. So, this buddhi pari avitishthate. The buddhi or the intellect is going to get established in the deeper state of anandamaya kosha, deeper state of silence. And that's what happens. Then, what happens? How do we behave? Yes, sarvatranabhisneha tat prapya shubha shubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratisthita. Then emerges what you call as universal love. So you start loving everybody. So, Shunitaiva Shopaketa Panditaha Samadarshinaha. The great knowledge, great Chita Prajnan, such people who have this balance, they will start seeing everybody, seeing divinity in everybody. You start loving everybody. So you do not hate anybody, you start loving everybody. This is called universal brotherhood or universal love. This is what Swami Vivekananda talked about in Parliament of Religions in Chicago. In the name of religion, unfortunately, over decades and centuries, he said that we have waged largest number of wars. We have warred. And massacred millions of people, killed millions of people, and flown rivers of blood. Rivers of blood have been flown. Millions of people have been killed in the name of religion, saying that my religion is great, my religion is great. But what is the real purpose of religion? Real purpose of religion is to bring love, affection, harmony, peace in the society. Therefore, he said, let us all now make a resolve, make a determination that we will no more wage wars in the name of religion. And let this Parliament of Religion, 1893, September 11th, remember that date. He told all thousands of people who have gathered there, so let us invoke that love for everybody. Let us all work together as brothers and sisters of the whole world. And let us bring peace on earth. Let us bring harmony, love, affection. That's the universal brotherhood, universal love. This is what is going to emerge when we bring the balance, when we go on practicing yoga, the aspect of bringing love, bringing samatva, Dukkeshu anudvigna manoha, Sukheshu vigataspruhaha, Vita raga bhaya krodaha, Chitadehi iti uchyate said. That's what is said. So we had the great examples in our ancient thing. Christ is an embodiment of love. Similarly, in our country we had Radha. Radha Devi, she had that universal love. She started loving everybody. Okay, this whole world, but do we have anybody now in this country, in different parts of the world? Yes, we have in Kerala, Amritananda Mahima. She is known as Amachi. She has that universal love. And she hugs everybody. She is known as a hugging saint. She has been doing such fantastic service work everywhere. And this is what is universal love. So we all should develop that universal brotherhood. We should all work as brothers and sisters with love, affection, harmony, and peace. That's what it says. Therefore, by the practice of balance, samatva, the universal love comes, dimension. These are all the things that happen when you come to this level of balance. Balance at all the levels should come. Then from there you go to still higher layers of subtle mind. What are those higher layers of mind? Says, Yanisha sarvabhutanam. Repeat after me. Yanisha sarvabhutanam. Syam jagarti sanyami.
Tasyam jagati samyami.
Yasyam jagrati bhutani.
Yasyam jagrati bhutani.
Anisha pashyato munehe.
Anisha pashyato mune.
So, Sayami, the person who has reached very high states, how does he stay? Sarvabhutanam ya nisha tasyam jagarti pashyati. A person sees day in night. One person who can see day in the night and night in the day, he is the wise man, he says. Look at this. This is the most controversial shloka. This is the most difficult shloka to understand and to bring the practice. So in Bhagavad Gita, we have many such difficult shlokas, controversial shlokas. See, either you are sleeping, either you are in the night or you are in the day. How can you see day in the night or night in the day? So it is impossible. Therefore, there was a very big editor in United Kingdom, in London. he wrote a commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a bundle of nonsense because it tells that two opposites have to be together. How can it be possible? No? Either you are thinking or you are not thinking. Either you are in day or you are in night. No? How can you see day in the night and night in the day? Not possible. Therefore, it is a bundle of nonsense, he wrote. Rebutting that, there was another great poet, a great scholar in India. He wrote, this is why Bhagavad Gita is much different from all other books or other texts or other narrations. It is because of these difficult slokas, these are the different things which makes the Bhagavad Gita something very unique, he said. Then we have to understand how this is possible. So here, what is meant by day, what is meant by night, we have to first understand. Night means your mind is not working. Day means your mind is working. When you get up in the morning, the mind goes on thinking and thinking and thinking till we sleep. So, either you are thinking or you are not thinking. So now Krishna is telling, you must see the non-thinking in the thinking phase. When you are thinking, you must be also having non-thinking. How is it possible? How can you see a non-action in action? So, normal persons, for day means activity of the mind. During the day, we are all thinking and thinking. Night means non-activity, not thinking. So, silence of the mind while awake is the character of such great, perfect human being, perfect gnani, Chita Prajna. It says, he is able to have the silence of the mind while he is awake. Gnani. Silence of mind while awake. Night is activity of the mind. If mind is silent, how can a gnani work? Only when the mind is thinking, you can do the activity. You can do all the things. If the mind is in silent, how can you do the activity? Has he or she become stone-like, went always silent, like mentally retarded? We had one person from London here who had come about 20 years back in our Arogya Dham. Here we have got a Arogya Dham. We don't call it a hospital. It is a treatment home. He came here for treatment. He was a mentally retarded person. He was 23 years old, young lad, but he cannot think. All the time his mind was silent. He is not interested in anything. He will sit like this for any length of time. Even we have to go to take food. When he takes the food, he will keep here. Somebody said, hey, come on, eat, come on, eat. He will put it in the mouth. When in the mouth, he will not masticate, he will keep it there. Such was his condition when he came. He had to be brought back to normalcy. We did. So, is it that when the mind is silent, he was in the day, his mind was silent. He was not acting. He was not able to eat. He is not interested in anything. And he will sit there or do anything or lie down and he can be there. And even when he goes for toilet, one has to be very careful. It happened once that he was not seen. We have got one of his caretakers. Her name was Gita. She was in charge. One day she found that he is not available anywhere. And he was trying morning, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. They were all searching. Then finally, the toilet door was closed and it knocked and knocked, shouted. Then the door was opened. What he was doing? He's sitting in the toilet. No? He went at 7 o'clock. Up to 12 o'clock, he was sitting there. See that? Is it what is going to happen? When a person is going to become a stone? Is it what Krishna is telling? Is the question which you have to understand. No. See, night and the day. Day for normal persons is activity. Normal person, night means silence. Seeing silence in activity. How is it possible? I will give you an example. I was living in Kanyakumari, the southernmost tip of India. So we have the complete ocean there. And Kanyakumari is the southernmost tip of India. From Kanyakumari, Nagarkoil is about 25 kilometers. And we all used to travel only by bus. But the government of India brought a train. They set up the complete train to move. And there is a big mountains. They have to dig the tunnel. All that took 5 years. And from Kanyakumari to Nagarkoil, they made the train. Rail was set and the train was launched. I remember that day was the September 11th, and the minister had come, and that day he announced today a free run for everybody from Kanyakumari to Nagarkoil, Nagarkoil to Kanyakumari. Any number of times you can go, it's all free. So everybody was excited. Many villagers started going from here, there, coming back, like this, go on. The train was running from here to there, coming back, coming back, like that, it was going on. So we also went to see how in the mountain the things have been dug, tunnels have been dug, we wanted to see. So we were sitting there. The villagers also were sitting. They were all very, very happy and excited. And the train started moving from Kanyakumari railway station. When it started coming slowly, it started increasing the speed. So villagers were looking outside from the window, and one villager, he started shouting, look here, look here, look here. It is so fantastic, so fantastic. What? All trees have started running. They are running faster and faster, they are running. See how trees are running. We are also seeing the same thing. We are also seeing that the trees are moving. But what is our understanding? What is his understanding? He thought really trees have started running. What is our understanding? Trees are not running. Trees are stationary. But because the train is running, trees appear to be moving. Understood? This is seeing silence in action. Seeing non-action in action. So this is what Krishna is telling. A great person, a wise person like all of us, when we are going in this thing, we understand that trees are not running. Though we are seeing the movement of the trees, though we see that the trees are in activity, it is in motion, we understand that trees are not moving. This is seeing non-action in action, seeing night in day. So similarly, for a long time, we all thought in the world that sun is moving from the east, going towards the west. Even today we see that. What is our understanding today? Sun is not moving. It is the earth that is rotating. Because the earth is rotating, we see that the sun is moving. Earth is rotating like this, therefore sun appears to be moving like this. We are moving. Sun is not moving, in a sense. So this is seeing non-action of the sun in the apparent movement of the sun. Sun is moving, we are recording even today. But what is our understanding, developed understanding as wise people? Sun is not moving, sun is here. And earth is rotating, going around the sun, Therefore, sun appears to be moving. So, this is the understanding between a lay person and a wise person, Krishna is telling. We all have become wise after we understood the whole mechanism of the world going on. How the sun is there, how the earth is moving, how the moon is rotating around the sun, all that we understood. Astronomy. Therefore, our understanding today changed. What changed? Earlier we are thinking sun is moving from the east to the west. What is our new understanding? No. Though sun is moving, it looks, sun is not moving. Seeing non-movement of the sun in the movement of the sun. This is seeing night in day. So this is the secret that Krishna is telling. So what happens to a wise person? His mind is in silence, but it appears to be moving. When the thoughts are going on, moving like this thing, actually the mind is not moving. Thoughts are not coming and going. There is silence inside. There is silence. In that silence, the whole thing is there. For example, now the clouds are coming and going. But there is a space. So space is not moving, but clouds are moving and going. Similarly, thoughts are coming and going, but we are not moving. He understands. We are Anandamaya Kosha. We are that state of silence. So in that silence, thoughts come and go. So this is the secret that Krishna is telling us. As we practice silence more and more, you get stabilized in that silence. You get stabilized in that blissful state. You get stabilized in that silence, that bliss, that peace. The peace continuously stays inside, and you do all the activities. Activity will be going on, thoughts are going on, you are walking, eating, drinking, everything going on, but you are tuned to that inner silence. Normally what happens? We are all in action. The mind, silence of the mind is not perceived. So we think we are doing all activities, we are immersed in activity. Just like the villager thought that trees are moving, we all think that we are in action. But the real fact is we are not action, we are in the state of silence. Just like the clouds and activities are there, space is not acting, space is silence. But in space, a lot of activities go on in the world. Similarly, we have that space of mind called Chitta Akasha, sky of the mind. That is the state of silence. All the time we have to tune that silence. That's called Anandamaya Kosha. So, the difference between a normal person and an accomplished yoga master is that an accomplished yoga master is all the time in that silence. And he does all activities as other people do. But what is the difference? He is seeing night in day. He is seeing all the time silence in his activity. Then every action becomes a yoga. Yoga is not merely doing some asana or pranayama or mudras or bandhas or kriya. No, they are practices. But what is real yoga? Yoga is a way of life. It is the science of holistic living. It is a way of working in blissful awareness. It is a state of working in silence. So how is that possible? Sitting, standing, eating, drinking, urinating, excreting, everything can be yoga. It looks, no, not possible. But Krishna is telling here, yes, it is possible. How? In another verse, he tells, Pashyan Shrunvan Sprishan Digran Ashnan Gachan Swapan Swasan Pralapan Visrujan Grunhan Unmishan Nimishan Nape Indriyan Indriyarthesho Vartantayati Dharayan. He said, seeing, hearing, tasting, urinating, excreting, walking, talking, everything that we are doing can be yoga when you are continuously inner silence. You are observing all things going on. That is the dimension. So this is the highest state. So when we practice every day silence, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and you develop more and more, a state will come all the time we're in silence. When I'm talking, all the time in my silence inside, I'm doing the talking. When you are hearing, you must be in that inner silence and do that hearing. So why that silence? That silence is bliss, silence is peace, and that is our Anandamaya Kosha. So attune yourself to this Anandamaya Kosha and do all activities. So later on, Krishna also says, Yogastaha Kuru Karmani Sangam Tyaktva Dhananjaya. He says, to Arjuna, he says, when you are waging the war, you must maintain that inner poise, inner equanimity, inner silence, and do all activities, he says. Wonderful thing. How to practice? We all know that you are all now hearing me. But maybe something deep in your mind, a subtle layer of the mind, something is bugging you. Oh, my father was admitted to the hospital and he has to undergo some surgery today. What would happen? Whether surgery is going to be all right or not? Something is going on inside. Some of you may be thinking, oh, we came all the way from our country here and we are sitting here and I don't know what is happening to my husband, whether he is doing well or not, something going on inside. Somebody else is thinking, oh, I was running a yoga studio there and I have come here for 1 month. What is going to happen to my studio? I have entrusted all that to one of the good disciples, whether he is running the studio properly or not. It is going on inside the mind. You are all aware, no, of this 2 layers of the mind. Outside you are hearing, but inside there is something going on inside. We all have the grosser layer of the mind and the subtler layer of the mind. That's called this Sukshma. This thing is Sthula. So what Krishna is telling is, inside layer of the mind should be all the time in that silence. It should be in peace. It should be in calmness. It should be in blissful awareness. That's called the Sakshi Bhava. That's called the witnessing eye. You are observing. It should be available. If you do that, then you will become an accomplished master. But we do not know that secret. Therefore, we are completely thinking that we are doing, but something inside is going on. Another example. When you are acting as an actor in a drama, once there was a drama of Ramayana. Sri Rama and Ravana are fighting. And the persons who are doing should be very much aware. Though I am acting as a Ravana, as a Rakshasa, as a demon, with all the vigor and everything, I should be aware that I am not Ravana. My name is Shiva. Similarly, Sri Rama, who was acting as a Rama, a divine person with all the valor, he is going to kill Ravana. He should be all the time aware, I am not Rama, I am acting as Rama, but my name is Keshav. So Keshav and Shyama are the 2 names, 2 persons. But Shyama is acting like Ravana and Keshav is acting like Rama. All the time they should be aware. But what happened in the drama, both of them forgot. And they started really hitting each other. Real war. And they started hitting. And the people were almost dying. Everybody was threatened. Immediately the director of the drama came and then pulled them apart. Why did this happen? They forgot. Shama forgot that he is Shama. Keshava forgot that he is Keshava, and they completely embodied themselves, completely engrossed themselves as Rama and Ravana. You know, this is what happened to all of us. You know, we have forgotten that we are that infinite bliss, infinite knowledge, infinite power. We are that Anandamaya Kosha. We are a state of peace. But we have completely forgotten that, and we have become only the body. We have forgotten that we have got five bodies. This is called ajnana, the ignorance, smallness, pettiness. Therefore, Krishna is telling, once you start going to that silence, you understand all that. Therefore, what is to be done in practice? Little by little, silence, 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 you do. Several times during the day, you practice 1 minute silence. You know? Morning when you get up, remember, I am that silence, I am that blissful awareness. Pratasmarami hrudi sanspuradatmatattvam satchit sukham paramaham sagatim turiyam. I am that infinite pure consciousness. I am that bliss. I am that peace. I am that full of energy. I am full of knowledge. I am full of knowledge. Wonderful bliss. You remember. As soon as you get up in the morning, you start remembering that. Then you have your wash and bath and everything. And then you come to the yoga class. So in the yoga class, again we start. I am that infinite. We're all working together. Then when you do your asanas, when you do every asana, when you go to the final stage of asana, remember, my mind is completely silent. When you go to the final stage of asana, the mind should be tuned to that silence. Ananta samapatti, as Patanjali puts it. When you do your pranayama, you see that slowing down of the breath, mind is becoming silent. So every state, when you go for breakfast, we chant a mantra. Om Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi. We chant that verse. Then what it means? I am that all pervasive reality. I am that bliss. So remember that. So during several phases of your day, go on remembering that silence, that Anandamaya Kosha, our state of bliss, we must go on remembering. Then a stage will come that all through the day, you are in that wonderful inner bliss, inner silence, inner non-activity phase. But you are doing the activity. Then you get attuned to what we call as the Sakshi Bhava. You attune yourself to that inner silence. Then you are seeing light in the day. In the day of activities, you are all the time in that silence, in that samadhi sthiti. Samadhistha, it is said, yogastaha, kuru karmani, sangam tyaktva dhananjaya. This is what is going to emerge. So, this is one phase which Krishna says, and next time, next Saturday, we are going to take up the second dimension of what is saying, seeing day in the night. What is that? Finding day in the night, we are going to take up in the next Saturday in our satsang. With that, we close today's session with the Shanti Mantra. And if you have any questions, you can post them. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you all for your presence. If you all also have some question, you may ask the question. Let me see if there anybody is there. Tallam Prasad. As I understand, we are in Manushya Loka. The happiness seen in face of Swami Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and other great masters is more and in rich. They reach which state of loka as per different lokas in Srishti. They are in the state of Devaloka. They are in the state where mind is in silence, mind is in a state of blissful awareness, and the bliss emerges in their face. Therefore, in all such persons, though they are in the Manushya-loka, the mind is in the Devaloka, probably even higher, depending on the things. Any other questions? Yes, please tell me, Shweta. Or write a message and
Namaste,
send.
Guruji.
Yes.
You were saying if we assert ourselves that we are the blissful, we are blissful, and I mean, our nature is of silence. Uh, Even though we are not actually, when I am in, I have not experienced that, and if I keep asserting myself, isn't it going to make me delusional?
That's correct. So, our mind is habituated to think and think and think, and we don't have the experience of that silence. Therefore, the practice is to get the glimpse of silence. So, every day, as I mentioned, you spend a few seconds, allow the mind to go to the silence. Maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute. Go on practicing. God gives us an opportunity to allow the mind to experience that silence. For example, you don't have any work to do. You know, you are free. But what you do, you go to your mobile, start browsing, or go to the computer, browse, or you chit chat, or you go to the kitchen to eat something. So we are habituated to activity, you know, and we do not allow the mind to go to the silence. Therefore, what is to be done? You must allow the mind to go to silence. Mind is eager to go to its causal state, to happy state, to blissful state. But we are not allowing the mind to go to that blissful state. We want to be in activity, want to be activity. Therefore, every day you must practice. For all of you, what I am telling, in the evening, you get half an hour, just walk calmly, silently, be in tune with nature. Beautiful nature here, and do not talk to anybody, do not interact, do not allow the mind to go on thinking. You just go on watching the sky continuously. You just go walking, walking, walking. So, like this, you must allow the mind to go to silence. God has given opportunity for the mind to go to silence, enjoy, be blissful, and do. But we do not allow. Why? Wrong habit. We have developed wrong habits of always thinking, 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 doing activity, activity, activity. No? Therefore, we have big imbalance in terms of activity and non-activity is almost zero. So activity we have grown tremendously, but non-activity we are pygmies. We don't use that. So though in life we have the opportunity, we do not use that opportunity. Therefore, what is to be done? As I said, every day you must go on allowing the mind to go to silence for a brief period. Start with few seconds, doesn't matter. Because our mind is so active, even for a single moment we cannot stay silent. Krishna says to Arjuna, Nahi kachit kshanamapi jatasisthati akarma krita. Aryate hi havasya karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. We are all thinking, 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 and doing activity, 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 and never allow the mind to go to silence. So, this is our habit. Therefore, what is to be done? We have to change that habit. That's the way that we have to grow.
Namaste, Guruji.
Another question here by Rios is asking, is observing our thoughts the same as being in silence? Observing our thoughts is called Sakshi Bhava, a witnessing principle. So when you are witnessing, what is happening? There is a subtler layer to which you have attuned. No? So in that state of witnessing, you have to grow further to see that becomes expanded. Because in that witnessing, there can be a focusing aspect, which is tenuous. We have to go towards a non-focusing dimension of witness. So first level, yes, witnessing is the way to go to the silence. But then there are deeper layers of the witnessing, which we are going to take up in the next thing. When Krishna says you have to see the night, when you are doing that, you have to see the day in it. We are going to observe that, and you have actually led the question that you have led to our next satsang, in which we are going to understand the deeper dimensions. Good question. Thank you. So you also all may have questions. What you do is write your questions in a sheet of paper and give it to our coordinator, and they will pass it on to me. And next class, I'm going to answer these questions. Okay? So you must think, you must all ask questions, more and more questions. If you don't ask questions, you are not good students. Okay? Therefore, questions. Only then you start thinking and understanding the wonderful dimensions of yoga. So with that, we'll come to the close. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sarve bhavantu sukhinah.
Sukhinaṁ sarve bhavantu niramayam
Sarve
Navi bhat
prani pashyantu ma kaschet dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti. Thank you.